Thank you very much, everyone. It's great to be back here in Winnipeg. As a prairie boy, I always feel kindred spirits, and contrary to some popular opinion in some places, you can't see Winnipeg from Calgary, even though it's very flat between the two cities. But both Winnipeggers and Calgarians feel at home when they're in each other's cities.
The fuck did he just say? Winnipeggers and Calgarians feel at home in each other's cities? What, like, in so much as they're both Canadian cities? Sure, but is this twerp really just trying to piss off Winnipeggers? Now, there are a lot of Albertans, apparently, who aren't awful. I recently discovered this by making fun of their premier, and receiving far more love than should be reasonable to give when making fun of someone's premier. So, before I say this, hashtag not all Albertans. But acting like Winnipeg and Calgary are samesies is just damned ignorant. Like, what? Are we both also practically Montreal? Winnipeg has the largest French population in Canada outside of Quebec. We also have the largest urban Indigenous and Métis populations in the country. Beyond that, we have such a large Filipino population that if you open up Grindr, you will find that no matter where you are in the city, you are never more than 8 kilometers away from a Filipino crossdresser. And for those who think that I may be being unkind to trans people, crossdressers are not trans people. And I am not passing judgment, not my cup of tea, and it's also no skin off my beak. Winnipeggers get winter from October 31st, when it has always started snowing, through until the end of March. Often still getting blizzards into April. Sometimes, heck, May. Heck, May is still on the table. And we don't get Chinook breaks. It stays cold until everyone is questioning if life is worth living like God intended. The only parts of Winnipeg that might be anything like Calgary are those weird suburbs named after things that aren't in them, like Island Lakes or Bridgewater or Linden Woods. And even then, I guarantee you somebody's going to get into the comments and say, you need to stay the fuck out of Island Lakes. I'm sorry, Island Lakes. I know you basic bitches aren't traders, but fuck off with your windy streets to nowhere. This fucker is talking about how people in Winnipeg are paying more taxes than they pay for food, shelter, and clothing combined. Bitch, my rent is so high it's half my fucking income, and you want to pretend that I even make enough money to be paying half of that in taxes? I wish I was making enough money to be in a tax bracket where half my income was going to taxes. In Winnipeg, if you're lucky to get your bachelor's degree, you get to make a few bucks over minimum wage, and you say, well, not thank you, because it's only a few bucks above minimum wage. But in this economy, you gotta settle for being overqualified and underpay. You know, it could be worse. Either way, we're somewhere adjacent to grateful, as long as your boss isn't being a real dick that day. And you want to virtue signal yourself as some sort of working class hero by telling me you're gonna let trade workers do more write-offs? Cool, their accountant's gonna appreciate that, but they're not gonna really notice. They're just gonna see the number a little different at the end of the year. And you want to tell me that I'm supposed to believe you're gonna actually make anything more expensive for someone with a private jet? Or what? Is Galen afraid of flying? Let me guess. You're also going to freeze rents, go after predatory landlords, stop abusive employers from demanding doctor's notes because you have to take the week off for a flu. Are you going to make it illegal for stores to force employees to stand around for no damn reason? No, of course you're not, because you don't know what it's like to be working poor, working class, or even to put in an honest day's work for someone other than yourself. People who actually work for a living may complain about taxes, partially because most of us have agents of the ruling class parroting that nonsense in our ears every day of our lives. But you know what I hate a lot more than taxes? Wondering if there's going to be enough nurses and doctors at the hospital if my mom has to get hospitalized again. I hate hearing that my friend's kid gets bullied at school because the class sizes are too big and the teachers are too exhausted to monitor things. I care about kids with learning disabilities slipping through cracks because there aren't enough resources to assess and help them. I care about kids who grow up barely seeing their parents who are stuck at work all day just to afford a house where the rent is so high because one of your donors is going on social media talking about how great fucking passive income is. I care about workers who lose life and limb because some business boy thinks it's cheaper to have them work overtime a lot instead of just paying for 2 people to have jobs. I am sick of the Canadian economy always being structured around rich assholes wringing every ounce of productivity out of employees who are too exhausted to dream anymore or play with their kids. Also, for people who actually live on the prairies, the "ooh, it's flat here" shtick is not endearing. It's overplayed and just as clever as asking if something's free because it doesn't have a price tag. Because let's be honest, you've got a price but no tag, and everybody knows that. So get the name of the city of my birth out of your billionaire ball gargling mouth.